Okay, folks, so now we're going to talk about actually classifying our image. So if we go into QGIS, so as to now, we've been basically previewing our classification. And it's debatable. It's debatable whether, it's you can increase the transparency and see kind of how your classification, I think the buildings classification also does bare ground too. So if it's bare dirt, it's going to look the same. We could get the roads to look different. I think there is kind of a well, I don't think the pine forest is actually pine forest. I think it's basically woods and grass, I think is what we're seeing. So anyway, I don't know. So I could fine tune this more. I'm not going to mess around with it here. I just wanted you folks to be able to get a handle on this. Something that is useful to do is okay. So once you've got your signatures, you can actually go to a plot. Oh, sorry. To do that, you have to highlight everything. Okay, so then we can go and see a plot of all the spectra. And what this does is it helps you figure out, okay, are things sufficiently distinct, right? And you can start looking at, okay, where do I have significant overlap? And it gets a little messy here because a bunch of these are actually the same class, right? We've got multiple grass classes and multiple pine forests. So it looks like we have pretty good separation. So you've got this class up here, which is buildings. And then you've got water, which is dark blue, which is down in here. So here's your water classes. They're down in here, all kind of clustering nicely. And then you've got your residential. Your residential and your forest and your grass are mixed in here a bit. But again, enough to kind of separate them out. And you can even go as far as to look at the spectral distances. So this is just looking at it kind of qualitatively. This is looking at it much more in depth. And yeah, you can even look at the spectral distances to figure out. So let's see here. We have to calculate spectral distances. And so it'll tell you, okay, the difference between this grass and this grass, it's in red because they're not far enough apart, which is fine because they're both grass. But here, pine forest and grass, right? They're not in red. So let's see if we've got any that QGIS is concerned about here. water, 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 water. Aha, so here, this grass looks like grass and building are too close to each other. All right, so we could take that one out if we wanted to. Here, grass and residential are too close to each other, probably because we have grass and residential sort of mixed in. If you remember how we did residential, grass and grass, building, building. So pretty good on the whole. So anyway, you folks get it. Okay. So, and again, I'm not doing a super rigorous job. I'm just trying to show you folks how to do basic supervised classification. If you folks want to really hone your skills here, I totally recommend that you folks read up on a lot of the tutorials that are available. Okay, so I think we're fine to go ahead and do the actual classification. And I was actually messing around, so you can choose maximum distance. Okay, that's what maximum distance looks like. These are just different algorithms, different ways to calculate these classes. Let's look at maximum likelihood. So that tends to smooth out the residential areas, which may or may not be useful. I don't know if, I think I'm losing a little too much detail there for my, let's look at the spectral angle mapper. Interesting, let's go back to minimum distance. I think I like the spectral angle mapping the best. Yeah, I think it catches most of what we're looking for here. Okay, so now we can just do the classification. So, this threshold, that's if you wanted to be a little looser with your definitions of spectral classes. We'll be strict with it now, but again, if you wanted to really hone it in, you can mess with this. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff. There's actually quite a bit that you can hone in on your own. We'll just run as is. Okay, we'll save this as QGIS supervised class spectral angle mapper. We'll save that in untitled folder too. Why not? Okay, so now it's actually classifying the whole image. Okay. So if we zoom out, and you can see why I wanted to go with a smaller image, right, rather than the big image. So now, and again, this was a relatively simple classification. You folks, who knows, right? You folks could do all sorts of different things with this. So anyway, so once I got through, once I got through that weird bug, which I have still no idea what's going on with it, this plugin is actually pretty powerful. So I've actually been pretty impressed with it so far. So anyway, pretty cool. This is a way you can do classification or supervised classification within QGIS. And now we've got that. So we've got that file. So if you go here, you've got, there's the geotiff, right? So we'll just rename this. Well, we'll do that later. Okay. So that's how you do supervised classification in QGIS.